Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Monday. That wasn't funny? I'm San Francisco Mayor London Breed, and it's great to be at Holiday Plaza with each and every one of you to talk about some exciting programs that we plan to launch today. I know there are a lot of people here. People from our ambassador community, folks from various companies and entities, and I've had a lot of meetings over the past couple of months after coming out of this global pandemic. And what I have been hearing, especially from many employers and employees who make San Francisco so vibrant and so great, is that they want us to do more to improve safety. They want to make sure that when people are catching BART, when they're catching Muni, when they're moving around our city, that they feel safe. And one of the things I've also heard from folks in the community and people who visit San Francisco is how great they feel when they're downtown and they run into one of our ambassadors in the orange jacket. How great they feel when they're in the Tenderloin and Urban Alchemy is trying to give someone directions or just help someone find the right path of travel. You know, this is a challenging city. We know it's a major city, and it's a city that so many people want to be in. When people catch BART from the airport, they get off right here at Powell Street, go up those escalators with their suitcases to go to check into their hotels. And people who visit and come to San Francisco for a convention, that's a big part of our economic engine. That's a big part of how we're able to afford to pay for city services in the first place. And so today, when we talked about safety, we talked about a desire to have people return to work in the downtown area. We talked about how people who work in the downtown area in general want to feel safe and secure. And so today, what we want to announce is a significant investment in our ambassador programs that will change not just what happens downtown, but will also change and support communities all over San Francisco that we know are in desperate need of it. You know, I'm really proud of this city because safety, we know, is not just about our police force, even though we have a need for police officers. We are looking at ways in which we can have alternatives for what exactly we're talking about, specifically downtown, having eyes and ears on the streets and those who are welcoming visitors and even folks who live and work here with a smile on their face. And we are going from an ambassador program that includes attendance at the BART station, Urban Alchemy. I see you, Louie. Thank you for being here. Love you too. And our downtown ambassadors, our Union Square ambassadors, we're going from over 200 ambassadors in this whole portfolio, and we're adding on top of that a whole additional 150 ambassadors that will not only support this downtown area, but will support important communities like Soma, like the Mission, and other places where we know they are so desperately needed. So this is just one step forward in helping to address our public safety challenges in San Francisco. We know it's complicated, and we know we have a lot of work to do. But what I appreciate about today is about community. Today is about people who work here. Today is about business. Today is about our city workforce. Today is about BART. It's about our partnership and working together to make San Francisco a safer place for all of us. So many things have happened as a result of the pandemic. Well, now the pandemic is almost pretty much behind us. So how do we roll up our sleeves in order to move this city forward? How do we roll up our sleeves to make San Francisco the place that we all know and love? I hear people talk about San Francisco and how it's such a beautiful city. We know it's a beautiful city, but how do we keep it that way? We keep it that way by fighting for it. We keep it that way by making the appropriate investments. We keep it that way by working together. And today is a real testament to that. You know, I mentioned the need for additional officers, and I want to thank members of the Board of Supervisors, including the Budget Chair, Hillary Ronen, Supervisor Matt Dorsey, and Supervisor Raphael Mandelman, because we wouldn't have been able to get not just our additional resources to backfill a number of positions in our police department, but the work that we need to do for ambassadors and our crisis response team and our wellness team and our overdose team. All of those things go hand in hand in making our city a safer and more vibrant place. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without their help and support throughout the budget process and the work that we're continuing to do together here. So I want to thank them for joining us here today, as well as a number of other staff members and people from BARD and various communities. It does take a village, but we're not going to give up on this city because it's too magical. This city has always been the place of opportunity. People come to San Francisco for opportunity. So let's make sure that as people come here for opportunity, or they come here to work, or they come here to visit, that they have a great experience, that they walk away and they're telling their friends and family how amazing San Francisco is. We're going to fight for this city every single day, and I hope that you join us in that fight to make San Francisco a safer city for every person who's a part of it. And with that, I want to introduce our Chief of Police, Bill Scott.
Thank you, Mayor Breed, and good morning, everybody. I'm going to start off with just a little quick history of this program. And when Mayor Breed sat with me in her office and this vision was being inspired, I saw the gleam in the mayor's eye that this is something not only that she wanted to do, that she wanted it right now. This was over 2 years ago. And about a week or two after that meeting with the mayor, we were at a luncheon being hosted by the Union Square Bid, and the mayor announced this ambassador program, and I felt a world of pressure come down on me because I knew she meant business, and I knew she wanted to get it done. And it was just a vision at that time. So we took that back with our team, and we made it happen. And here's the results of that vision by our mayor. The program started as a pilot about 2 years ago, and this was during a global pandemic when we were actually constructing this program and doing everything we needed to do. We had to get a manual, we had to get it passed through the Complete Police Commission, we had to get the support of all these wonderful elected officials behind me to get it funded. But within a pretty quick amount of time, we started with 10 ambassadors assigned to Union Square, right where the mayor made that announcement. So she delivered, and we delivered on that promise. The goal of the program was to hire retired police officers, not to replace, but to support our footbeat officers in the Union Square area, because we were very intentional about piloting this program in Union Square. I'm happy to say that we've met those expectations of the mayor, and I firmly believe we met the expectations of everybody in that room when the mayor made that announcement. Today, we have 50 ambassadors, and we have a list of retirees who want to be an ambassador. In addition to Union Square, we have ambassadors in Chinatown, Fisherman's Wharf, the Haight, and the Castro, and we plan to keep expanding. We have been successful in so many ways, but mainly what these ambassadors do is they help us reduce harms to our communities. The harms that we see day in and day out, the harms that we get complaints about, the harms that we get demanded to do something about, the harms that we as a city can make better. They increase the visibility of presence. They are an arm, our ambassadors, the SFPD ambassadors are an arm of the San Francisco Police Department, and they free up sworn personnel so they can focus on the more serious matters of investigation and community policing. Now, how this works is ambassadors have police radios. These are retirees, so they know how to speak the lingo. They know how to communicate with us. They are a force multiplier in a time where our sworn staffing has been reduced to critical lows. I'm going to read you just an example of the power of this ambassadors program. And this was an email sent to me just a couple of months ago by a man who does not live in San Francisco. He says, "Chief, my wife and I, along with very close friends, traveled to your city this past weekend for vacation. We spent the first day traveling through the city in a cable car. We got off in Chinatown where we were met by two ambassadors. These two men were one-time partners in your department. After retirement, they were hired as ambassadors. They took the time to help us navigate the area and also explain their job to us. I have to say that this is an outstanding program, and I hope it helps. These men were professional and courteous. They made our time in Chinatown more pleasant. I myself have spent 38 years as a first responder. I worked in the fire service full-time, and I was also a part-time police officer in a smaller city. I retired from both, but I still miss the job. I would definitely work as an ambassador in our city if I had the opportunity to do so. This is an outstanding program, and you have two outstanding officers working this assignment. I'm sure this program helps keep things a little safer. Thank you." This story can be repeated over and over again. This is not the only message of thanks that we get from our ambassador program, but that typifies what this is about. People visiting our city having a better experience and feeling safer. That is what they do, and that is why the mayor's vision was so important. In closing and wrapping this up, I want to say a few more things. Connecting people in need to services. Our ambassadors do that very well. And again, I can tell story after story where that has been done. They're trained in first aid, they're trained in de-escalation, and as I said earlier, they have a direct line to our on-duty officers, which means faster response times, which equates to better service. In addition to the ambassadors, Mayor Breed is also asking for additional police service aides with the same concept in mind, to free up the very, very critical understaffed police department so officers can do more critical work. And I support that wholeheartedly, and I know that her vision to do that will work just like her vision to implement this ambassadors program. There's more work to do. We can't make up for the 500 officers that we're short, but we darn sure can be innovative and creative to make things better. And that's what this ambassador program has done. Again, I want to thank the mayor for her leadership and guidance. I want to thank the Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Dorsey, Supervisor Ronan, Supervisor Mandelman, and the entire board. I want to thank Kate Sophis of OEWD and her team. I can go on and on. Fire Chief, Jeff Tumlin. This is all a partnership. And if you don't hear anything else, I want you to hear this. This city is a family. And just like any family, when we face hard times, we come together and we make it happen. With the leadership of our mayor, that's exactly what we'll do. This is a much bigger issue than just a latest new thing. What we are building here is capacity to re-envision and change policing in our city by being creative. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Board, and thank you.
So good afternoon. My name is Bob Powers, and I'm the general manager at BART. Nice to be here. And so first, let me just turn to my left and just thank the mayor for her leadership on this, prioritizing this initiative with including public transit. There is nothing more powerful in the BART system if you're taking BART into work, if you're taking your family into the city or out, to see two ambassadors in the train, just walking through the train, or on the platform, see two ambassadors walking by. It means a lot. And when I'm out in the system, that's what I hear first and foremost. So, Madam Mayor, thank you for your leadership. We know at BART nothing goes further on safety and the perception of safety than having ambassadors and folks like crisis intervention specialists in the system. So I'm joined here as the BART General Manager by two BART directors, one Bevan Dufty over here to my right, and one is One is Janice Lee, Vice President Lee. About a year ago, BART, maybe a little longer, BART embarked on a progressing policing bureau under their leadership with Latifah Simon and Rebecca Salzman, President Rebecca Salzman. And really, it is so complementary to the vision that the mayor has right now. It has ambassadors and attendants and crisis interventions specialists partnered with sworn officers. I can attest personally to what Chief Scott just said about the concept of a force multiplier. That's exactly what's happening in the BART system right now. And expanding this, Madam Mayor, is really going to be transformative, not only to the city and county of San Francisco, but all of the Bay Area. So I just compliment your leadership on this. And I have some numbers here. We just started our our restroom attendants. And, since March, when we started adding restroom attendants right here, there's a restroom attendant right here, you want to go in. We had over 100,000 folks using those restrooms. And guess what, Chief Scott? Not one call for a sworn officer at those restrooms. And talk about a force multiplier. It is very, very powerful. And our elevator attendants right here. You want to take the elevator from the street to the concourse to BART platform. There's an elevator attendant in there. So families coming in, folks with mobility challenges, there's somebody in that elevator. It's safe, it's clean, it's convenient. So again, I just look forward to the partnership, Madam Mayor, and I think we're on to something here. So thank you for your leadership. And with that, I am going to introduce District 6 Supervisor Matt Dorsey. Matt?
Thank you so much, Bob Powers, and I want to thank Bevan Duffy and Janice Lee from BART as well. Mayor Breed, I want to thank you for your leadership. Chief Scott, my former boss, and I remember being part of the announcement of that program. I was actually really moved when the chief talked about the email that he got from a retiree, because it reminded me of 20 years ago I went to work for the city attorney's office in San Francisco, and there's a program where retirees come back, and maybe it's because as I get older and I get closer to retirement age myself, just because people are done with their public service careers doesn't mean they're done giving back to their community, and that's one of the things that I just love about this community program, and I think that's why people respond so positively to it. This is something that is going to add 150 new ambassadors and attendants all around downtown, Mid-Market, Tenderloin, Mission, and tourist areas, in high traffic areas, Muni and BART stations. It's going to combine a combination of safety ambassadors, welcome ambassadors, BART service attendants, the community ambassadors I talked about, and the PSAs, or the public service aides, that, as the chief said, free up staff. But I want to give a special shout out. I live in the Mid-Market neighborhood, and I got to tell you, I think the most popular public servants in the neighborhood are Urban Alchemy. It means a lot. I say it like, it's just good to have you here, and it's not just eyes on the street, it's just a welcoming smile and a feeling of safety. And the only complaint I ever hear about Urban Alchemy is, we want more of you and we want you 24 hours a day. So great job, and we're going to do everything we can to empower you and hopefully get more of you for longer hours. That'll make my neighbors happy. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everybody for the program we're announcing as this force multiplier of giving back to our city. And with that, I'd like to hand off to my colleague, Supervisor Raphael Mandelman.
Thank you, Matt. And I will be brief. I want to thank the mayor and the chief and each of their teams and all the other folks who have worked to make this happen. We know we have a significant challenge in San Francisco in terms of our police staffing. The chief mentioned it. We are short more than 500 officers. That number is not static. It is growing as officers retire. And I think that is one of the biggest challenges that the mayor and the Board of Supervisors have to try to address in the coming years, and the mayor has begun to in our last year's budget. But in the meantime, we have real public safety challenges now. And what I appreciate about the announcement today is that we are not waiting years to recruit new officers. We are figuring out how to use the officers who we have now most effectively, and how to find other people who may be able to do those jobs and get them out. If your home is broken into, I hope it's not broken into, but getting someone who's not a sworn officer out to take that report more quickly so that that officer can be on the street in the Castro or the Mission or Soma and addressing the needs of constituents and making residents and merchants and tourists feel safer is all to the good. So this is smart. Glad to be here and express my support and my thanks. And now I'm going to introduce a colleague who I know works every single day with her office on some of the challenges that have really emerged in the last few years around illegal vending, drug dealing, drug use on the streets, all of the challenges that we're hoping this announcement and drug use that we hope this announcement is going to try to address. And so I know she's happy for the relief, but I want to call up Supervisor Hillary Ronen from District 9.
Thank you so much. I want to say that right now, as we speak, conditions on the streets of the Mission District are unacceptable. And I want to shout out and thank a couple people. Ryan Motzik is here from the Mission Merchants Association, William Ortiz Cartagena from CLECHA and the Small Business Commission. And they have been working with us, and we have been working with the mayor's office to change that fact. And I really want to thank Urban Alchemy, who I'm a huge fan of. Give them another hand. They deserve all the hands in the world. For providing a model along with the mayor that we want to replicate in the Mission. We want to return the vibrancy, the beauty, the healthy feeling of the streets of the Mission, but we want to do that without criminalizing poverty, without making it more difficult for people that are poor to survive in the most expensive city in the world. And we believe the Community Ambassador Program is the way to do that. Bringing people from the community to walk the streets and make sure their communities are safe, clean, healthy, and vibrant is exactly the right strategy. Thank you, Madam Mayor, for not only creating the strategy, but for investing even more and adding the Mission to this important effort. And thank you, Urban Alchemy, and all the incredible workers who are doing that work successfully every single day. Thank you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Orlando White from LinkedIn.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Orlando White, and I head up community development at LinkedIn. At LinkedIn, our vision is to create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. And for us to reach this ambitious vision, we work alongside our city leaders and community organizations to demonstrate that we are living this vision locally, right in our own neighborhood. We've been proud to work alongside Mayor Breed to support programs like the Opportunities for All initiative, which connects young people of all backgrounds to paid employment and job training opportunities. We are committed to investing in San Francisco's recovery, and we are proud to be a part of this community. The feedback that we have received from our employees is that they love the energy, the vibrancy, and the atmosphere of this city, and they want to have a safe and efficient commute into San Francisco. We appreciate Mayor Breed's commitment today to expand the city's ambassador programs. These ambassadors are a key presence in the city and are an invaluable asset for our employees who live and work here and for those who may be visiting the city for the very first time. These ambassadors are a signal that this city cares and wants to ensure safe commutes for all of us. I know that we at LinkedIn are not alone in our commitment to this city. We hear from other businesses how excited they are about what lies ahead. We are all here to be a part of this great city's future. Thank you so much.
Well, as I said, this is definitely a collaborative effort. It's us coming together to try and address some of the most challenging issues facing our city. But I also want to say what I especially appreciate most with Urban Alchemy and the downtown ambassadors and the Union Square ambassadors and the attendants in BART and our retired police officers is, from my own personal observation, in disguise, of course, seeing how they engage with the public and how they try to be so helpful whether it's giving someone directions or restaurant recommendation or helping someone into treatment, and sadly, in some cases, helping to reverse their overdose using Narcan, which I've seen police officers do on numerous occasions. These ambassadors are the eyes and ears of the streets. They're the guardians of the city. They're here to support and protect the public, whatever that means. And it involves a variety of things that are necessary to keep people safe in San Francisco. So I really am truly excited about the opportunity to not just expand it in our downtown areas and the Tenderloin, but to go into neighborhoods like the Mission, like West Portal, like other communities who so desperately need it, because we have a great city and we have a lot of people who want to be a part of it. Nothing makes me feel better than when I see one of our ambassadors who has so much love for San Francisco talking to someone else and that smile on their face about telling them about their favorite restaurants or their favorite places to go in San Francisco. That's the kind of city we're trying to create after coming out of a challenging time of a global pandemic. And I want us to just, by wrapping it up, to remember who we are as San Franciscans. We've been through challenging times. People talk about San Francisco as a resilient city. Well, that's what we are. You know, we've been through the AIDS crisis and now are at a point where we're getting to 0 new HIV infections in San Francisco. We've had earthquakes where we've seen freeways collapse and we have turned them into beautiful neighborhoods on our waterfront and in Hayes Valley community. This is no different after coming out of a global pandemic. We have an opportunity here to transform our city, to make sure that it is clean, that it is safe, and that it is vibrant and thriving for everyone who wants to be a part of it. Safety has to be at the forefront of the work we do to get there, and I'm so excited and proud to be working with all of the people here joining us today to make that commitment, to make San Francisco what we know it can be. Thank you all so much for being here today.